I asked if I could nominate.
Well, i- if nobody's going off the board, we have a big enough board this year.
I thought you guys were going on.
Well, we are going off the positions that we have held. So,
That
There's a-
wasn't the way it was told to me.
I know. So I wouldn't worry too much if you don't get anybody nominated this year.
Well, what
It
I'm trying to do is get people to either nominate somebody or step up and say, hey, I'd kind of like to do that.
I know, but there may be some people who aren't ready this year that will be next. Just a thought.
And I'm trying to point out that, yes, we are all busy and we all have stuff that we do probably besides Oasis. I mean, a lot of us have 2 or 3 things that we do besides Oasis, but we all owe Oasis something. We can't just put our stuff in and leave.
I agree with Julie.
And I'm trying to be nice about it
Right.
and put a little humor in it. And I don't know if anybody's seen the email yet.
I have, and I thought you did a nice job.
I saw both of them. Yeah, they were fine. And remember when we talked about it, like at the end of last week or Saturday or whatever day it was, they all run together now. A couple of the people that you thought might be good on it have really stepped up on the other committees, like the advertising
Yeah, they
committee and
have.
everything.
And those
And-
are not the people I'm aiming at.
Right, I know. Trust me, I know what you're going through. I did it for 5 years. I know what you're going through, and it's very frustrating that you get nothing from nobody. And but I think that if the marketing committee seems to be taking on some of, and people on the marketing committee, in my opinion, seem to be taking on a little more jobs. I mean, a little more responsibility. Do you feel that, Barbara?
Yeah.
And so that then takes off the pressure from Barbara
Mhm.
and Sarah and Natalie stepping into the thing. So hopefully in a year, hopefully there'll be somebody somewhere out
Which
there.
is also why I said, there isn't that much extra to do in the email.
Right.
And I think that we should keep having our meetings on Zoom.
It's a good idea, isn't it? I mean, then people
Keeps
don't have to
people from
drive,
having to come in.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so what we just need to.
I
elect
hate Zoom, but it's great.
Natalie.
In some respects, it's a great thing.
Maybe somebody will surprise you, Julie, and elect somebody, and that somebody will say, "Oh, yeah, I think I'd like to do that." Maybe
Yeah.
let's hope for it.
Maybe cows will fly.
Well, pigs do, so why not cows?
Right.
Okay.
I don't know. I have a
membership.
flying cow on my Christmas tree.
Okay.
Okay,
What,
now-
Barbara?
Membership. Just for the record, we have 2 new members.
Mhm.
And Barb Paul has put their work up on Facebook, so everybody should see it.
Also, the last time I worked, I had another young fella come in who's a senior at JMU, who is a metal sculptor. And he seemed very enthusiastic. I gave him an application and I had him fill out a little piece of paper with his name and email, and I taped it in the communication book. So hopefully we'll be hearing from him in the next month or 2.
Well, one person we are going to hear from is a friend of Bahir's, but a youngish lady. She's Kurdish, and her work is very different from anything we have. So
Oh,
I
that's
think
nice.
Bahir talked to her just now, and I think she'll be bringing her things in for jurying. this week, maybe even tomorrow.
Is she also a painter?
But here, what, is she a painter? Is your acrylic, okay.
Mhm.
Or oil or acrylic.
Cool.
So anyway, so I was trying to remember if this is the time of the year when we do get a lot of people wanting to join, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems funny because they should join before Christmas and not
Yeah.
after Christmas.
Well, this fellow that came in is a 3D metal sculptor. And I have been thinking ever since I joined that that was the one thing we don't have.
Don't get me started.
My sculpture's 3D.
Who said that?
Ellen,
Ellen,
Yeah, but it's different from that.
it's not the standalone sculptures as much.
It's not anything like, the pictures he showed me weren't anything like anything we have.
Cool, well, that'd be neat. Okay, we'll look for it.
His
The
name's
show
Adam
schedule.
something. I can't
Show
remember the
schedule.
last name.
did anyone look at this show schedule and did you have any comments?
I looked at it. I actually made a copy. But if
Nope.
we're going to talk about the show schedule, remember how we were talking about how we were going to do the helpers and the curators and all of that stuff? How we were going to get them on board? Do we need to talk about that more or just?
Well, if you look at
figure it
the
out ourselves?
schedule, there aren't that many places without curators. Because most of the shows are Oasis members. So
That's
it's
true.
April and November and December need curators. But what I think you're talking about, Sally, is an overall show coordinator, right?
No, because I do know that that is a position that is needed. So I wasn't really talking about that at this particular time, but I do know that that's something that we need to have because Ellen's leaving that position, right?
Right. And didn't you ask Erin if she would do it?
Yes, I did. You're right. I'm sorry. I did ask Erin if she would do it. And basically she told me no. She told me that she couldn't do it at this particular time because with everything that's going on with her child not going to school and the COVID with the residents that live with her and the fact that she's not even doing any of her own stuff, she didn't feel like she could do it. So I
Okay,
did
so
talk to her. I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
what-
And then
what
we talked,
Okay, well, we
Oh,
decided,
good.
Wait
it's
a
hard to
minute.
hear.
Ellen's trying to say something.
Yeah, I was wondering if you could maybe send an email and what's the job entails.
Sure. Okay, I'll do that.
And then everybody could maybe have a look at it and say, yeah, sure, I will do it.
okay, I think this is
I didn't know
two-part
Ellen is
thing.
giving it up.
It's a two-part thing, the deciding what shows we're going to have when and contacting the people that are going to be in the show. Then the position that I think Sally is talking about is the one where we have an Oasis person managing the influx of
Individual shows.
the individual shows and making sure that we have a curator, assistant curator, and a liaison for the
Outside shows.
outside shows.
And
Is
that's
that
what I-
correct?
I call that a show coordinator.
Show coordinator, okay.
Yeah,
So-
that's,
Show coordinator, but didn't the board decide that they would be the ones that decided when the shows
And
were?
this is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
okay.
So the
I mean,
first
just
part-
overall.
Yeah, the first part of that has been done.
Yeah.
You're right.
Okay,
You're right.
all right.
So I'll write up a show coordinator job description and send it out to everyone. So Sally, what are your other concerns?
Well, I guess just because we talked about this just briefly, because we said that we thought when we were stuffing our bags, we said that you felt that that list that we used to have back on the back cork board, where you had your coordinate curator, and then you had 2 helpers, and people were supposed to be signed up to be helpers, and that kind of went out the window. So that was what I was talking about.
I remember that as a First Friday thing.
It is a First Friday thing. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. It is a First Friday thing.
So.
But it
at
isn't
one
always a
time we were
First Friday
trying-
thing.
Pardon?
I'm sorry. I was feeling like it wasn't always a First Friday thing because it felt like, yeah, we are talking 2 different positions, you know. So maybe we should just wipe out what I've said and just go with what this job description of the show coordinator is,
Okay.
which,
And it should be someone on the board.
Oh, okay.
no,
Why,
it should?
why do you need it to be someone on the board?
Well, I think for communication purposes, don't you? I mean, if the board is deciding what shows are when, then.
Well, I think we need it to be someone else, and then we make them a voice on the board, secondary to their position.
Okay.
So we
Good
recruit
idea,
someone
Natalie.
for it, and then we invite them to the board meetings to share the
Oh,
information
sounds good.
accordingly.
Yeah.
didn't we briefly bring up Roger? And then we decided that he was probably too busy.
I
Well,
asked
he was
Roger
gonna be the
to
trip.
do the trip interaction,
Mhm.
and he's still thinking about it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I don't
man.
think he's gonna be the show coordinator.
No.
Well, we're not going to have any trips for a while.
No, Trip Denton.
Trip Denton, our landlord.
Trip, that trip.
Have we ever had any trips together?
Oh,
Never.
wait a minute. I missed out. I missed that one.
Okay,
I'm
so
tripping.
Dory's on 2 feet. Just to say that with Martha's illness, we're gonna go on hiatus on that and maybe bring it back, maybe not. So.
It was a good run.
Yeah. Shopify, Natalie, talk.
We just got to get it moving again. It's January. Everything's in a slump, but somehow we've got to get a campaign going. So maybe a little bit with the Valentine's Day piece that we talked about in the marketing committee meeting. I don't know what else. The only other thing I can think of is for me to hold a class and help show people how to put their stuff on Facebook and link it to Shopify. So, I mean, that worked. You did it and
Yeah,
you saw that result.
Oh, it works so well that I have nothing more to offer. I have to
Well,
make things, you know?
yeah. So we're coming up on Valentine's. I've got a heart bracelet made. We can all get our little Valentine things going. And if you link it to Shopify and they click on it, it doesn't make them only look at that page. It's not exclusive. They can go anywhere from there. So that's just a vehicle to get them to the page.
Can you does Shopify just go to Valentine items, or can you just?
I can make a category for that.
I think that would
Oh,
be
that's a good
interesting.
idea. Especially
Yeah.
with the note that Bart Paul put out just now.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great, because it's
Yeah.
a lot to go through. When I went through, I was like, oh, God.
But you don't have to. You can type in any kind of keyword and pull up things. So if you wanted to see what had hearts, you could put in hearts in the search bar and it would pull up anything that I have the word heart anywhere in the description.
Oh, cool.
If you wanted to pull up all the red items, put red, you know. So yes, there are ways to simplify that.
Right. You know, it might be a good idea to have Anna put that kind of helpful tips at the top underneath the search bar
Yes.
so that we didn't know this stuff. So, you know, if maybe that would
Yeah, I
help.
know. And I think if more of our people understood Shopify, maybe they would give me more items to put on Shopify. Um, But yeah, a lot of people like Barbara Paul didn't know that she could search under her name.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Why don't you just go on there and try different things?
Why don't we get Anna to put a collection of search tips up right under the search bar?
Uh-huh.
Would that
I
work?
think, yeah, if we could just get people to go on it and start clicking and trying things, you might be able to teach the rest of us some things. Because it's definitely generational, not our generation.
Yeah, it certainly is.
So Natalie, can
So
you
if I
write
could come up with some tips.
Yeah. I think that would help. I had something brought home how difficult communications is today. I wanted to order something from Heritage Cafe. And they said, we put pictures up on our Facebook. They meant Facebook story. It
Oh,
took
yeah.
2 hours to get that straight. They knew what they were talking about. I didn't, you know?
And I still don't know, do you want to post this on your story or your news feed? I still don't know what the difference is there.
I know the difference, but but anyway, I think the easier you make it, communicate things to people,
Mhm.
especially those of us who aren't, like Anna can do this in her sleep, not me, right? 1970s, the cutoff date, yeah. So you'll make a Valentine's category and get those tips up there, right?
Okay, I'll work on that, yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Anything I could bring up, in Massanutten where I put the brochures. Well, I can't go in there now, but I mean, there's always a brochure on our display there by the post office. And so people, they look at that display. Is there anything I could put there concerning Shopify, Valentine's Day, whatever? Do we have anything in print
No,
that I could put there?
Not yet, no.
yeah.
Oh, and you have the things that we put in the bags.
Well, yeah, you could put those.
Okay, where,
There is,
They're all over the
it's,
counter.
on the counter? Okay. I look next time. So we're on the counter where we wrap stuff, right?
I think I might have
Is
it
that
on
what
my
you're saying?
computer. I'll send it to you, Etta.
Okay. Otherwise, okay.
Yeah, and even if
No,
it's
I mean-
outdated, it doesn't matter because the website is still there.
Yeah.
So if
right.
it says, 10% off January sale, it still has the website on it.
Okay. Yeah, or is it to 10%? I could put that up there too.
Right.
They don't seem to take it down now. For some reason, before they took it down every Monday, and I had to put up a new brochure. But now I looked and it's still there from a long time ago. Nobody cares anymore. But anyway, so
Fine.
I
That's
can
good.
put that.
That's good for us.
Yeah.
Okay, calendar issues. Natalie, you have any calendar issues?
No, I don't actually. We're good this month. I think we'll okay
Uh-oh.
next month
Froze.
too. Yeah. Am I froze?
No,
No.
say again what you
Oh,
said.
okay. I said, if anything, we have more docents than we have slots for this month. That's why next month.
Wow.
That's why I doubled them up on Saturday,
You mean in February?
February, yes. So we'll be
Short
overlapping
month.
on Saturdays. But then we also, I wasn't counting on Ann being there or Ron Landis, and both of them signed up for their shifts.
Well,
And
I
then
think,
we've got
you know,
2 new
what-
members.
I haven't talked to Sarah about this, but I think she doesn't need to work.
Well, I think that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, Sarah can be a filler in or.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Morgan isn't required to work because she's a student.
That's right, but she may want to.
She might want to, but she's not technically required to.
And then we have Gemma. I
Right.
think Gemma's going to be really good. She seems really on top of it.
Yeah.
Her guitar's
did
already
encourage-
here. She
Get
already
outta here.
finished.
I know.
I did encourage Morgan to get familiar with Square so she can put her own stuff in and whatnot.
So I think we're going to be okay. We may lose some members, but I think, for the next few months, I think we're all right schedule wise. And I'll just keep doubling them up on Saturdays as long as we have enough. And at some point, I guess after daylight savings time, we'll think about staying open later.
Yeah,
But for right
it
now,
doesn't make sense to
just
do it now,
no.
Yeah, I don't think we started until May previously.
Yeah, I
Well,
can't remember, although I do have the schedules, I could look. but-
Yeah, but even with the holidays, we weren't getting the traffic at night that we
No.
previously did. So
People just don't want to come out when it's dark. I mean, I feel real sorry for the restaurants.
yeah.
Sally, did you have anything you want to say about the farmer's market?
No, I did communicate with all of the people who have done it in the past couple years, and to make sure that they still were interested in it, and they are. And so I've already filled out the application, and they're having their members meeting tomorrow evening. So a couple of us so far think that we might just listen in because it's a new management and it's a whole new thing because of the managers leaving. So, but so I think that we're just going to go with it like we do every year, and everybody's much better at signing up ahead of time. I think Natalie and Kathy Roletter have been the two people that have really stepped up and signed up, and Barbara Paul will when she's got when things are better. So no, so it'll still be the $200 and we'll still have to give what'd she say? Now she's going to be talking. She's got to.
Barbara and
can't-
I will be doing it once COVID gets done. Right, Barbara?
Sure, Ellen.
No. Barbara's already told me a long time ago that she's not doing the market. So I already know who's doing the market and who isn't. But anyway, okay. That's all I have to say about the market.
I'm going to skip item 9 for the moment. 10. What do you think about the kids' summer program? Brenda's recommending we not do it. But she says if the board wants to do it, she can pull it together.
I would say let's just table that for now. We
Yeah.
don't know how this mess is going.
Right.
I'm looking at other organizations that have already canceled all activities for the year, and it's just killing me. But
Mm.
yeah, I think we have to think about safety for them and us. So
See, and I don't even think about, I mean, I understand the safety issue, but my biggest thing about the kids program, I mean, we found another direction to do it and to do kids, by going to second home and having fun that way. And my biggest thing is that and this is going to sound really snarky, the group of kids that we had, I felt their parents were very selfish
mhm.
on the whole. And I know, Barbara, we've talked about this. I just, in simply, but when we asked for our little teeny bit of donation from me, one of them, when all of this for the last 4 years or 3 years has been free, not one person gave a donation. Not one family person whose kids did all these free art classes did any donation. And that's what I'm talking about when I talk about the selfishness of them. So I say no.
Yeah, same people showing up all the time. Just real millennial, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah. So I I agree. I think that we should just table it this year and maybe revisit it next year with something
Well, okay.
like a minimal charge or something.
I think when you do revisit it, that you, that we think about a supply charge, which would be $5 maybe per child. That might weed out the selfish people.
I
And it could be
feel that
waived for certain people.
the program that we had to cancel for 2019 had a fee associated
Yeah,
with it,
right.
didn't it?
Yeah, I think we
Yep.
finally did.
We did.
Yeah,
put
so,
$5
so when,
person.
Natalie, when you say table for now, do you mean the year
Yes.
or,
Yes.
no, not this year?
So
Okay.
I wouldn't say let's just toss the whole thing, but for this
For the
year,
year.
let's try to pull our bootstraps up. And,
Right.
hopefully things will get better and we can
Funds we could trade on
move
this
on.
second home.
Yes, you're right. You're right, Barbara. 2020, the summer of 2020 that we had to cancel totally out, we were going to charge the people.
Yeah,
Let's try, we were.
And so did we actually get to registrations or did we cancel before that?
we canceled
Canceled
before that.
before.
Okay, because I'm just curious if we actually had good response. We'll find out in coming years.
Yeah, I don't know. No, we canceled it before. We got all the shows and we got it typed up as to what everybody was going to do, I think. And then, because we
Yeah,
closed
Joanna
on
made
March
those
17th.
the flyer, so it
Yeah.
was ready to go. I don't think we ever published it though, because remember, we shut down in April. So-
March 17th.
March
We
17th.
shut down at March 17th.
Okay, so we wouldn't
I
have.
worked that day.
Yeah. Okay, number 9. I'm not going to say it out loud for obvious reasons. Sarah, Ellen, and I are sitting upstairs.
Oh, yes, okay.
So can you read that and see what you think?
As you know, I already think that that is a good idea.
Yeah, me too.
Can I just make a motion to that effect?
Wait a minute, it's more for them, right? More.
Yeah, more for
Maybe,
them.
yeah. I make a motion.
Ellen's
I
motion,
second it. I'll second it.
so we all agree?
Yep.
Mhm.
Thank you. That's great. Okay, and any other business?
We need to have a jury. I think we need to go through the gallery and tighten things up a bit and declutter and just a general tighten up.
Sally, you were probably here, and Jill, you were probably here when the jury committee went through the gallery and said what could stay and what couldn't. Do you want to do something that severe? You're the jury committee head, so I'm asking.
I was not.
Oh, I
You
was.
know, I think the jury committee should go through and talk about what could be done, maybe some display hints and, if there's something that's obviously wrong, fine. But just sort of tighten up the display, not have so many same things out all the time, because it's looking, I come in and it's looking very,
Well, that's part of the exhibit committee too. So why don't you
Yeah,
and Sarah
okay.
do that together?
Right.
that'd be,
and
well, I
other members
was
of the
thinking,
jury.
yeah.
I know, but you're also exhibit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so is 2 enough or do
Yeah,
you want more than
well,
that?
I think we ought to, we'll get the basic down and then we can talk to the whole committee.
Okay.
situation.
That's fine.
So,
Does that everyone think that's okay?
Just a gallery-wide evaluation.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. I like it.
And since we're having new members, we're having, that we might have to consolidate people's display areas and, work on that too. So I think interactive would be good.
Yeah.
Right.
along that note, Ellen showed me an idea for new wall labels. So she's going to work on that a little bit and then bring that proposal to you next month, probably.
Right.
So,
Good.
I have something,
okay.
please. There are 2 items. When you accept a check for rent, please don't enter it as cash in the square.
That was,
Just put the check in a bag. It's made out to Oasis and it's, and that's the receipt for the member and, otherwise there is a receipt book in the green bag and you can write a receipt if you, I don't know who wants an extra receipt if you write a check. And secondly, I don't know if we still get these downtown dollar checks. Yes?
Haven't had one
Are
for a while, but they're
Yeah,
a
but
lot
I
of
mean,
them
they're
out
still out, right? So
Yeah.
for a whole year, basically.
there. Yeah,
Don't let them be made out to the person who's giving you the check. Because I can't deposit it because I write for deposit only on the back of the check and it needs to go to that person. So it has to be made out to Oasis. You have to write in Oasis. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, yes, but I do have a question though. If they were given that as a gift, was their name already written on it?
I don't
No,
think so.
No, because I have gotten checks, there was nothing in it. It was just blank, where it says
Okay.
payable to. The payable to should be blank or Oasis, either way. But if it's
Okay.
made out to a person, that person has to endorse it and say payable to Oasis and, and sign it. So it's easier if we don't have any names in the payable to section.
Okay. But if I'm gonna write that up in the minutes, will tell all that, but then the next statement I will say, because somebody could take that downtown dollar, like the person who has it, and they could have come into Oasis already and written their name. So what you want then is for them to sign it on the back, sign it over to payable to Oasis
Right.
and sign it. Okay,
Right. Uh-huh.
okay.
Because then I can write, then it can go to Oasis account.
Okay.
I know.
No, that's fine. I haven't seen one of them.
I have
So,
Okay.
I have.
Did you get the one for $2?
No, someone else got that $2.50 one. I did talk to the Friendly City merchants about that, someone coming in and buying a minimum and getting the rest in cash. And it hasn't been a pervasive problem downtown. So if it happens again, then we'll put a little note up. But I think a smart docent can change that too. A smart docent can kind of jolly someone into spending more than $2.50. on a $20 downtown dollars.
It should be a minimum
I
of
just,
$10, period.
Yeah.
But that's,
I just
Well,
thought about
okay,
something
Ellen-
else.
But Ellen brings
no.
up that she wants to make
Yeah.
it a minimum of $10. I guess the board can decide that. Do you want to have a note up that says on the downtown dollars, you have to spend at least $10 here?
I think
Well,
so.
remember when you went to that meeting, Barbara, it says half of it needs to be spent, should be spent, at least half.
It doesn't
That's what
say
they
that.
were. Well, there was something about, there were suggestions that it could be saying
Right.
you have to spend half here and then we can give you half cash.
Right, and that was the suggestion. Do we want to
Yeah.
go with that?
yes.
I think that
Yes, I
sounds
think
good.
so.
Definitely.
Okay. So that,
I
So-
had something else about money. I have something else about money.
okay,
We received a lot of $100 bills lately. And I want to make sure that people use at least, the safety stick.
Yeah.
I didn't see any marks on the $100 bills I have.
Okay, I'll remind the people, remind the curators to use that
Yeah, I
stick.
don't know if people even know where,
You know, that wasn't anything that I put on the orientation checklist because I guess I forgot about it. But I would have remembered it if I got $100 bill, but maybe it's just that we need to remind people that.
right. It's just, especially around the
Find
holidays.
people where it is.
The sticks,
Okay, well, it's where it's always been.
yeah, it's by
Next to
the
the
register.
little
so-
printer.
Right, but not everybody probably knows that.
Well,
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 that's
maybe
they-
everybody needs to be reminded of that. They should have known it because it was well advertised back in the time that we started doing it.
But newer people may not know that.
Well, I'm going to make sure that it gets on the orientation checklist.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have an orientation checklist that I made up.
I used
So-
to notify that
About it.
about it, so I'll catch up on that.
Anything
What'd
else?
she say? You can't hear her. She's got the quietest little voice.
I used to have a note about how to use it and what it was by the pen. So I will
Yeah.
check and see if it's still there. And if it isn't, I will redo it.
Yes, you're right. There was a
Thank
note.
you,
there.
Ellen. Because,
Yep.
you want to lose, because we lose $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll know it. We'll
The
know
bank
it.
keeps it. Mhm.
Oh, by the way, Sarah and I tried to figure out how the kerfuffle on the 13th happened, and we haven't. I thought I had it figured out, but our experiment didn't work.
Oh, with the check, with the cash and,
Yeah.
No.
How?
how did
That
that?
was my mistake.
Pardon?
If you're
No,
talking about the rent thing. that
No,
was my
not the
mistake.
rent. No, we had a problem where somebody said, and now on the square, it showed as cash, but the docent said that they paid with a credit card.
Oh, okay, that was
So
not.
it was, no.
No, the other one was me and
That's
I.
fine. It's all good. It's all good. But anyways, I don't know what happens there.
Well, we can't figure it out. I will say that the Square forums said that other people have had this problem. And it seemed to be I thought it was that cash got hit, the cash button got tapped and then someone put in their credit card but the system doesn't recognize the credit card if you've hit cash. So I don't know.
But it was a person we knew, so Barbara took care of that, right, Barbara?
I haven't yet, but I will.
But doesn't it say card approved? got, you can take your card out? I mean, if it doesn't say that, that means the credit card hasn't been.
I know. And they say, or the docent said that it all went through. So I wasn't there. I don't know.
Well, it gave a receipt. I mean, I looked at the Square and it gave a receipt and everything, but it said cash on it.
Yeah.
But if you take a credit card and you put it in the, put it in, it automatically, how do you push cash then? I don't
Was
get
it
that.
a debit
This
card
is
or
the
a
mystery.
credit card?
Credit
Oh,
card.
well, wait a minute. No. If you go ahead and hit the sale, like enter the sale button, it'll show you all of those things before they put their card in. So it'll show you cash, card, manual card, blah, 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 blah. It'll show you all those things.
Mhm.
And then they can put their card in. If they put their card in before you hit that button that says sale, or, the button of the total amount, then what it's going to do is automatically go to the credit card and skip all that other
Right.
part,
So
right?
my theory was that they got to the second page and hit cash, but Eddie put in his credit card. That was my theory, but once you hit cash, it doesn't recognize the credit card anymore.
No, it doesn't, no, because it would go, you have to enter how much cash you got,
Yeah.
received.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
so-
be able to do two things
Well, you
at the
have
same
to-
time.
You just put cash. And, yeah, when you do it, you don't put just cash. You have to put whether it's the exact amount or whether it's $20
Yeah.
or a different amount. So you have to hit one of those, not just cash, but one of those amounts to get it to register cash at all.
Right.
So
But I mean, once you hit cash, you cannot do the credit card, or,
locks out.
I mean,
Right, but that was the only theory I could come up with, was how, but it's a bogus theory, so forget that. So,
It didn't work that way.
no, so we don't know how this happened, but I will send a note to Eddie and ask him if he'll come in and pay his $10.
Or ask him if it showed up on his credit card, I think.
Right,
On his
right.
credit card statement.
Exactly. And maybe he'll say I paid cash.
And then we'll just say, well, she must have bought her lunch with it. You buy those sliders, it's about $10 and something.
Right, $10.11.
Yep. Natalie knows how much those sliders cost.
They're so yummy. So anything else, folks? Natalie, your neck look like it's gonna break.
It's because I had a cat on my shoulder.
She looks like my Winnie. Except I think she probably has both of her eyes.
Yeah, she's got two eyes.
Yeah, Winnie she only has one.
All right.
That way when I got her.
They do fine with it.
Oh, she's a good hunter anyway.
Hey, listen, everybody. Ellen's getting vaccinated tomorrow.
Well, lucky her.
I'm not
She lives in the right county. You live in
Yeah,
a small county, that's why.
probably
Well, different.
Oh,
different hospitals.
Are you 1A or are you 1B?
for living with my husband.
Oh, yeah, right. 'cause
Oh.
he's at risk, so you're.
yeah, we're
So you're
both
1A.
1B.
but Ellen, where's Ellen?
Right
I
here.
want to tell you, I really like your hair. Whatever you did with it, it looks, you did a different color or whatever you did. It's very, very attractive.
I said that was the first thing I said to her too, Etta.
Yeah,
Exactly the same, so I have no idea.
but your hair, it's a different color, isn't it?
The light's shining on it.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
it looks good.
Yes, I'm angelic.
I'm gonna have to visit YouTube on how to cut your hair. Cut your own hair.
It looks good.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
No, not that I can think of. I hope you
Wait a
taped.
minute.
Did you tape this, Barbara?
I did. I forgot about the first 5 minutes, but I could fill those in for you.
Were we
I
gonna
could
talk about the
probably, I
window?
might be able to remember them.
Sally.
Is it glass?
No,
But it's very cute, so don't rule it out.
It is cute. I've seen those bottles, but yeah. I think that Brenda brought in some really nice sized bottles.
So did someone else, and they put them up in the office. Another case of not listening.
Yeah,
Cute.
that is cute. It's very tiny, but it's cute.
But maybe the little kids can do those.
I think it would be harder for the little kids to do those than the big kids.
It's made so you can tie a string around the neck and make it into a necklace.
Awesome. Where'd you get those?
I found them on eBay. They had like 100 of them for under $30. So
See, that's just it. That she did what we weren't going to do, which was buy them. But that's okay. They are cute, Sarah. Maybe we could
get a reimbursement for all the money I'd spent for Oasis, so I had to find something else to buy.
Okay. Well, maybe we could bring our diamond head drills and drill a hole through the top there so they can actually put it on a little thing and put.
No, it's got a
Indentation.
a thing around the neck that you can tie a string around here and hang it.
Oh, okay.
You don't need to
Well,
do it.
I'm going away, and I may not be back for that. I might stay away for 6 weeks. So I might not be back to make any decisions as far as those things go.
Sally bought funnels. So.
So I have one more thing. Were we gonna talk about the window?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the marketing committee was talking about the window and the Main Street window today and what they were going to do for Valentine's Day. And after it was all said and done, my thought that I talked about with Barbara was, what are we trying to do with this window? We want to sell our product. Maybe we should be putting our product in the window. And by that, I don't mean just a random selection of different people's work. Make a list and have members sign up to be in the window. And I suggested you have two. You have 3D items, smaller items up front, and then paintings or 2D along the back, which would give them a little protection from the sunlight as well. And then you're putting what you want to sell out there in front. You're letting people see what we have to offer, which may bring them in and increase our sales, which is what's going to pay our bills. So, and then you also alleviate that need to have a committee to come in and change out the window, because whoever's putting their pieces in the window, they have to commit to coming in there and setting it up and coming back in there and taking it down. So just a thought. It works well in Charlottesville. She put out the request for the window, and in one day it was full for the year.
We used to put maybe before you came, we used to put everybody's stuff in
I
there.
was there, but it was just random items of different people's. There was really no theme to it. And that's why I think it's a better idea if you let the member put their pieces, like I would put my jewelry up front on pedestals or whatever, and then Bahir would put his paintings behind, filling up the space behind.
And what does that do for the water?
What?
Whoops. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm good. You said, what did that do?
For the Water Street window, because that's kind of what the Water Street window has been being.
It is, and the Water Street window is not a problem right now. I'm seeing the front window as being a little bit of an issue, trying to coordinate people, trying to get the marketing committee to figure out what they're going to do with the window, and then get them to get it all together to make it happen. I'm seeing this as an alternative to maybe give that a break for a little while and then see what happens with it. See if people actually want to sign up and put their work in there, and then see if it helps with sales. or not, or just keep,
I think that's a
Getting the
great idea.
marketing committee
You know,
people.
we can, and we can also go back and forth. If
uh-huh,
we want to, like, do a general window, public service, and then go back to, you know,
Well,
our things, but
like
it's just,
Christmas time, we probably want a variety of people's work and not just one or two. Maybe for Christmas
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
and,
for Christmas, maybe that could be an extension of our show, November and December. We get a, you know, variety, but otherwise put it in the window.
Well,
But
one
you know
one
what?
thing I
That's
will
really
say,
hard to Get that stuff out.
to sell.
one thing I will say is that I guess you can see how frustrating it is to do that front window if really the marketing committee has only been doing it for 2 months.
Yeah.
3
They
months.
didn't express a frustration.
no.
Oh, okay.
And
Because
Natalie,
October,
I think Natalie feels that the window could be better used as a sales
Selling,
point,
yeah.
and Ellen agrees with that.
Yeah.
I like
well,
our,
and that's what we
I
used
like
to do.
our crazy windows, so I'm on the other side.
I don't know. I kind of am too, just simply because we get a lot of comments on the window, and we have a lot of art on the Water Street side. There's a lot of art, so people know what it is. But we get a lot of positive comments on the window.
Yeah,
But you know,
not everyone goes down Water Street to see the art, right? Why can't we
that's true.
half and half, or do public service and then do art, do, you know, or whatever we want to do with that.
Let's see, February is covered for Valentine's Day, and then half of February was going to start on green things for St. Patrick's Day. So we could, if you wanted, say, you know, start a new theme, the 2D, 3D stuff, after Valentine's Day.
Isn't February Heart Emphasis Month anyway?
Yes, it is. Women in heart disease actually is what February is.
Okay,
Heart-
so is marketing committee planning on doing that in the front window? Because we could conceivably put like some heart emphasis art in there along with it.
Well, yeah, they're doing Valentines and hearts and things like that.
Yeah, we're not doing a heart disease window.
Nobody can hear you.
We're not doing a heart disease window this year.
But we haven't done a heart disease window ever, so that's perfectly fine. But I don't know what I was going to say.
Well, do you want to say that in, first of all, do you want to start this in after Valentine's Day? And secondly, do you want to reach out to Brenda to see if she can, she's done a fantastic job with Water Street. So.
No, I don't. I think that I'm just giving my opinion. I think the first thing that we should do is put it out there and see if any of the members are interested in doing that. Because if you don't do that, then it's going to fall on one person. So I think we should, you know, and let them know that it's different than the Water Street window. And are people interested in doing that? Because if your members aren't interested in doing it, then it's a moot point.
Okay, so can
Is
we
the
ask
front window
via the
right
minutes?
now?
Excuse me, Barbara?
Can we ask that question via the minutes?
Yes, we can, but I can also, you know, ask people to respond for their opinion. You know, give us your opinion because we're trying to figure out which direction to go.
Okay,
Is the marketing committee in charge of the Main Street window?
This
This
just
is where
happened.
I'm getting confused.
Yeah, well, Sally did it for years and she complained and complained and complained.
I didn't complain that much.
Oh, yes, you did.
I
Sally,
just
all
said I
remember.
didn't get,
We all
No,
remember. The
no,
one-
let me tell you what I complained about. Now, wait a minute. I didn't complain that much. I complained about the fact that all of a sudden I had been doing the window, and then the market committee started doing the window, and so I said, I'm giving it up. I mean,
okay.
All
We all
I
remember it
say-
a little differently. So,
All I'm saying is that if the marketing committee is in charge of the window, shouldn't we discuss it with them first before we decide?
That's what they just did because they both discussed it with them this morning because they're on the marketing committee, all three of them.
All right.
So they're
What
They're
wasn't
coming
clear.
from the marketing committee, right? Aren't you coming from that aspect?
yes, but this particular conversation was not part of the marketing committee meeting. I can always ask them if they want to continue.
Thank you. That's what I'm asking.
Okay.
All I'm asking.
So speaking of opinions, how many people have responded to your note, Sally?
Oh, surprisingly enough, you mean the one about the Shopify and people buying stuff, that
Yeah.
note?
Curbside, yeah.
Basically, it's just been I had the list here, I saved the list. It's just been those repeat offenders who never respond to anything, like Mike and Roger and
Mike never responds to anything.
and a couple other people, but mostly everybody responded
Oh, wait.
that they read it. Now, they didn't respond, they didn't have any opinions except for Joanna's about asking about security, about,
Yeah, right. But so what's the next step? You're going to bug the people who haven't responded? I think people should be required to read OASIS minutes and memos.
I
and-
can send it out to, Liz I can send it out again or I can ask them. The thing about it is, it's not like what you were asking them to do earlier, Natalie, was to get on Shopify and put some stuff on there and all of that. It's just telling people, it's just a memo to tell people what to expect and how they should manage it. So, I mean, yes, I mean, there's like 5 people who haven't responded.
Well,
And-
Joanna's question was really good because I hadn't thought of that, and she answered a question I hadn't asked, and I'm glad she did.
And did I send the response to everyone?
Yes.
I think I did. Okay. No, that was a good question. But it's like anybody anymore who shops online or calls a place and, wants to buy something, that it's out there, and it's just the way life is done now. So I guess you take your chances.
Mhm.
And it's pretty secure. You guys have to, what is she saying, Barbara?
Huh?
What is she saying?
I screwed up the money today, so I have to go fix it.
All right.
Don't do that.
Okay, anything else?
We have all offended.
Well, I, for one, would like the minutes to reflect that OASIS thanks Sarah for everything she has done these last, how many years were you president? 4, 5, 6?
Well, same as you.
Yeah, well, it's not the same. 150. So could the minutes reflect a big thank you to Sarah for everything she has done? President, all her manual labor, all her creativity.
Yes, I can
No. Uh-oh. Come on, there's Sarah. Say hi to Sarah.
Sarah, I thought maybe you were getting ready for a photo shoot because your hair was blowing in the wind.
Yeah, we got the fan blowing around here so that we can cool off.
It is making a difference, isn't it?
So, okay, yeah, and you need to add Barbara in that too. As her
Absolutely, yes.
executive secretary. She made it very easy for me to be president, so.
Who's vice president?
I don't know if we have that.
We never have.
Natalie's on her own.
Congratulations, Natalie.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, I'll help you.
You think you've been bugged before, just wait. I know how to haunt people.
Firefighters, you can handle us.
She's
Okay.
had to deal with the Lynchburg Rock Club.
Yeah.
Tell them there's a new sheriff in town. Natalie, you have to tell them there's a new sheriff in town. They better get in line.
Start reading those memos.
Yeah. It's all right. We'll get there.
Send a letter out.
You know, I actually was very impressed of how many people responded, and they almost all of them did it within 24 hours. So I'm not unimpressed
Wow.
with the response that I got back from people. You know,
Yeah, and most of them replied to all, so we could all see who was responding and who wasn't.
Mhm.
well, yes, and I know that I've been told, but that's come from Keith long ago. Now, Keith was the president when I first started at Oasis. So that was what, 10 years ago? But I could just do blind copies. Would everybody prefer that?
Well, the
Instead of
reason he had that discipline with us, he said if someone gets hacked and you have used blind copies, then there's a chance the rest of you won't get hacked. But if you don't do it that way, then if someone gets hacked, everyone gets hacked.
Yeah.
I'm just repeating, I'm not that kind of a tech guy, so I don't know if that's true or not.
I do it out of habit because I live with a geek.
So do we think that that's the way I should do these then? I will. I don't have a problem with that.
Maybe, but. just-
Yes, no, maybe.
Every
Who
once in a
cares?
while to have everybody's address, especially if there's some new members that, so you can check your list and make sure you've got everybody, but.
Well, Kathy Roletter is doing those lists and she puts the file up on, in the internal files, internal Facebook page.
Yeah, so that should.
Yeah, so it's there.
should be able to get it.
Okay, no problem.
Have all those reply alls and have 600,000 emails.
The same thing.
All right, I will do it that way so Ellen doesn't get 10,000 emails.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm hitting the end. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, y'all.